G'day listeners, welcome from wherever in the world you are joining us. Welcome to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast designed to make you smile. My name is Jordan Spencer and joining me are my good mates Brett Perry.
Yeah, good evening.
And Nick Boyce.
G'day fellas, good to be
here. In Australia, I can tell by that one. All right, our second official episode, our third podcast. Got to say, Bar Karate is going better than I thought. How's it for you boys?
Oh, look, I'm stoked with the response. It's kind of funny how many laughs I'm getting. I'm actually wearing my hat and my shirt around, and people are going, "Oh, Bar Karate, it's all good," and it's quite funny. We're gonna have to start selling these shirts and t-shirts, by the way.
Oh yeah, good idea. Hadn't thought of that.
So we could get a bit of merchandise up on the web page when we get it rolling, along with a stubby holder, of course. That's number one piece of purchase for sure.
Yeah,
you might need to sort of expand a little bit on the stubby. I don't know how many people in the world would know what a stubby is, Bicey.
Well, given I'm talking about it, it's got something to do with beer, so I'm sure they can work that out.
Yeah, all right, guys. Well, it's been great. Thanks to everyone who's listening. We're having a ball, and you seem to be enjoying it, so we're really grateful. Tell your friends. Let's roll straight into it. What caught your eye this week? I'll throw the intro out for what caught my eye. It's the Man Overboard report from the Clipper that came out this week. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, picked up on that when it did come out, and of course something of this nature takes everyone's eye, and quite interesting reading, I must say. And unfortunately, from a bad event, you have these sorts of reports that are generated, and let's hope they can take some good out of the report for the future, not only for the Clipper, but just yachting in general. And just if it brings awareness once again to, because we have spoken about a few other situations, but if it just brings awareness to everyone out there, it's well worth it.
So I think. Oh, sorry, Brett. You go, mate.
Yeah, no, look, I think we touched on it a couple of weeks ago in the first episode, where we, to the younger generation coming through, that we were probably never really schooled on it as much, but coming through now with the younger generation, it's just an important thing to have at the top of your thoughts as you're going to sea. From personal experience, I've actually had a overboard experience, and it's not fun. It's not enjoyable.
I'd say so.
to bring to make it as funny as it possibly can be. But no, listen, it's one of those things that I think more people should be more aware of it. And unfortunately, it takes these mishaps to make people sort of become more aware. And we'll go into it a bit more now.
Yeah,
it's for everyone out there. It's worth a read for sure, and just going through the sequence of events that actually unfolded, which kind of is the precursor for this report to be written, and unfortunately fatality. It's super. The people on board, holy hell, that must have been a bit on. He was one of three, I think it was, in the same incident that had been washed over the side, or that was hanging on by their tether. They had some on.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the Clipper, it's basically 11 identical boats with a professional skipper on board, and the crews pay for their right, and they do a race around the world. They can do legs or the whole thing. And the guy that went overboard, Simon Speirs, he was a 60-year-old, and he'd been sailing dinghies for 40 years. So he knew how to sail boats. And they had 3 medically trained crew on the boat, including a GP, and they couldn't resuscitate him. What happened, just to describe it exactly, is he was clipped on, a little bit of a broach, and went into the water. And the skipper did the right thing, turned the boat, attacked the boat so he was on the high side to try and get him up. He couldn't climb his way back up. The others did, the others that Bicey mentioned. And then they tried to get a halyard to him to clip on. And as he was trying to attach that halyard, the hook that was attached to the jackstay has just let go. And what's happened, if you go and look at the report, the jackstay's run past a deck cleat the hook's gone and got caught under that deck cleat and torqued and basically twisted open, and he's been washed out the back of the boat. So it's pretty unfortunate, but that's the nature of sailing, isn't it? If it can go wrong, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, look, the sheer forces when you go over, it's not only your body weight against that tether, it's the force of the boat moving forward, the amount of water that you're dragging, and from experience, when you are under the boat, it's quite incredible how much power is actually there, and trying to pull yourself against that is not fun. And look, I'm sure in his situation, when he would have been on the jackstay, I'm assuming, and he slid down to that, what you're saying, a hard point, which does bring another point up. The jackstay there is realistically the last part of the saving, if you like, of actually losing yourself contact with the boat. And if you're sliding down the side of the boat, you're really at the mercy of wherever it hits. It can hit anywhere. And that can cause all sorts of things. And as it torqued open, there was no real, there's no real way of controlling that. It's just your fate is really in the last. It's the last chance, if you like, when you're on the side, over the side like that.
All right, boys. So a question to you, without actually saying what the ruling was at this stage, how would you fix that? You're a professional skipper. How would you make sure you don't lose someone in that situation?
I think from a professional skipper's point of view, the first rule is make sure you clipped on, and they were clipped on. Mm-hmm. As for the carabiner opening up like it did and being torqued open, well, I've seen some pretty strange things happen, and I'm calling that as pretty strange.
Yeah, agreed.
Apart from avoiding the situation to start with, they did everything within their power that they knew and all the training that they'd done. So it's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
We all know that. When you're out there in you're out sailing, especially long distance, and you do find yourself in conditions that that these guys found themselves in, that there are certain instances where whether it's a jibe or a set wave, and I use the word set wave very, very broadly because there's certain opinions there on the word rogue, but the point is that you're out there and you've got to try and manage it the best you can. Now making the decisions as far as a professional skipper's concerned, and those guys out there knew the risks, and I think that's the biggest thing when every person steps on a boat. These days, they need to understand and know exactly what they're getting into. I mean, look at the 98 Hobart, for example. Look at look at 93 Hobart. Look at the the 78 Fastnet. I mean, we've all been in those instances, and we don't like to talk about them too much. But when you're out there, you're out there. That's it. Yeah.
So there was a safety bulletin. The MAIB issued a safety bulletin after this. As part of this bulletin is number 1-2018. Regards to the dangers of lateral loading of tethered hooks, and recommends that the method to use the anchor end of the tether to the yacht should be arranged to ensure that the tether hook cannot become entangled with deck fittings or other equipment. So what they're saying is run your jackstays in a way that your hooks aren't going to come anywhere near any hard fixed points. That's basically what they're saying there. The other thing I could think of is you run two tethers. That's the only other thing I could think to do. Everything else seemed to be handled pretty professionally.
Yeah, I mean, they've been advised, and the Clipper themselves they've added an extra professional crew member on board for this next edition coming up. Whether that was a driving factor, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure it had some part doing in it. But yeah, the double tether. I think what's the rule now? 30% you require on board. But I'll tell you what, that's a double tether is not a bad idea.
Yeah. I kind of think that's just got to be the way, particularly at night time, like in really rough conditions. It's like we all have that sort of rule on our boats. I know that when your seriousness of your safety just gets ramped right up. So, look, real shame. I hope if the family are listening to this, we're sympathetic to your loss. If the Clipper organisation's listening to this, we're not trying to put you guys down in any way. You're led by the great man, Robin Knox Johnston. So we're just trying to discuss it in a professional manner and get the message out there to everyone that hits the water, because I think that's all we want. We want people to enjoy our sailing and not get any bad news. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I concur.
All right. Well, that's the first. All three of us agreeing on something. Well done, boys. Put a little notch on the board.
Don't get used to it.
Righto, let's go downhill from here.
Okay. Well, not quite. I'm going to roll into the news for everyone. Just, I thought I'd just finish off on the little Figaro Solitaire adventure. I guess we're giving it a big discussion because, one, it's the 50th edition, and two, it is really the sort of lead-in event to the Vendée and heading into the ocean race and all those sorts of things. So, worth a look. This is where all the future stars do pop up out of. It was finished on Wednesday, the 27th. We saw the last leg 4, Roscoff to Dieppe, 510 miles completed. Eric Perron won from Armel. Shut up, Bicey. I can see you laughing at my accent.
We'll be picking the Russian laser championships next week for you.
Oh man,
I think we need to go into name training.
I got to say, because I got to do a little report on. Just to give you some background, we sort of split everything up so we know who has to do what, and I've got to do the little discussion on Kiel, and I saw the winners in the Finns and the FDs, and there's not a chance I'm reporting on them.
You'll just go first was Germany, second was Hungary.
But so in this league, Eric Perron and Armel Leclerc, who I think was the winner of one of the last Vendée.
Good names there for sure.
Yeah, so they were the first couple over the line.
What I love about that event is you've got the old salts, the legends getting back into it, and actually battling their way in the mid fleet. I've been watching that, and it's the young guns have definitely got their hold on it, and the legends have come back for a go because they want to have a crack at it, and they've been battling away in the middle of the fleet. I guess it's been quite interesting to see that.
Yeah, it was a tough event, light tidal. Sort of very demanding, I think, physically, not with big winds, but mainly just light, stressful winds and trying to battle tides and get through separation zones and stuff like that. In the end, Jan Richomme won by about an hour and 13, over 14 days, 2 hours. So pretty long event. He hadn't sailed the event since 2016, which he also won. So that's a pretty good achievement. Yeah, he's obviously got the skills. Best rookie was Ben Schwartz in 6th place. So
Schwartzy.
Yeah, I assumed. I thought he was from the US. I assumed he was from the US, but then I looked down and saw the best placed international sailor. So everyone in front of this sailor is French. Best placed international sailor was Alan Roberts in 15th, and Alan. I've had a few chats to young Alan. He's definitely keen to get a boat into the ocean race and do the whole Vendée thing. And I met with him when we were in Amsterdam last, Bicey, and we went through the program. So I'm pretty happy to see him up there.
No, he's got a lot of fans and a lot of support behind him. So
he has.
I think we'll only see him climb the leaderboard. In times to come.
Yeah. Yep. His girlfriend works in TV production, sailing TV production, so he gets a lot of coverage as well, funnily enough. All right, Bicey, what have you got, mate?
The GC32 Worlds in Lagos, Portugal. Seems a bit of a runaway now, actually, with the Lingy leading the way with the last day, well, actually being sailed as we're recording this. But what I found super interesting here is the calibre of the sailors. Got Glenn Ashby, Frank Camas, Ben Ainsley, Adam Minoprio. So you've got people from the Cup.
Robertson.
You got Phil there, of course. You got Frank Camas coming from a true offshore world. Ainsley from the Olympics, and Adam from match racing, and Phil as well. So she's a star-studded fleet, without a doubt, and Ernesto takes the biggies by the looks of things.
He does all right, doesn't he? Like he loves a cat, old Ernesto. He doesn't mind being on the catamarans. He obviously won a couple of America's Cups with his Alinghi team, but and Ineos is in second place, is effectively Ainsley's team, which is training to win the America's Cup coming up. So you're exactly right. It's a heavy hitting regatta.
With 10 boats on the start line, but they're all stacked, like fully stacked, so high calibre fleet, and something it was definitely interesting to keep an eye on. There's no doubt about that.
Have either of you been on the GC32s? You ever had a run on one?
Negative.
No, I haven't had a run on it, but did quite a bit of looking into the boat itself.
Oh, yes.
And throughout its evolution, when it first hit the water, to something that was potentially we're going to bring into involved in the Volvo Ocean Race as it was. But there was, and to see the changes that they did make, I mean, they're forward thinkers for sure. So it'll be interesting to see where the class goes now without the Extreme Sailing Series.
Well, it's a good regatta. If you haven't tuned in, it's pretty much, I think it's today the last day from memory.
Yeah, last day today.
Yep. So there'll be some pretty good footage to watch there. If you haven't checked it out, go and have a look. BP, mate. Etchells Worlds, Corpus Christi, Texas. Aussie.
Oi.
Stand up, Australia.
Total global domination. No, listen, first, second, and fourth in the Etchells Worlds. Congratulations go out to Ian Murray, the big fella, Colin Bichel, and Richie Allenson, actually, in for first place. But what a regatta. I mean, when you look at the results, they were unbelievable. So the boys on Ian Murray popped out with a second, first in 3 races and were just dominating, and it looked like they were going to just streak away from the fleet with no one really getting anywhere close. And then it just came out of nowhere. Well, you could probably not say come out of nowhere, but big GT, Graham Taylor, James Mayo, and of course that man who is going to be a tactician on the Ginga team, Tom Slingsby, came out and won the next 5 in a row. And would you believe it? We're racing on the last day to basically, take it away from the big fella. And luckily, well, to the guys, to Ian Murray and the boys, they pulled in a 4th, which was enough to give them the win by 2 points. Would you believe it? They were streaks ahead. I mean, for example, Slingsby and the boys in the 4th race had a 24th. I mean, they were. That with that result, they're sort of mid-fleet, hoping to not have to carry it, and then 5 wins in a row. I mean, it would have been great to have been there to see it. So,
some sphincter tightening moments.
Yeah, and Steve Benjamin, obviously the United States, always a solid player coming into 3rd. And look, there was it was a quality fleet. It wasn't a huge fleet. Only 37 boats, but I think that's because the worlds are so close together. I believe that's what it was. A lot of people are saving up for the next ones. But look, even so, the quality was there again. Like as you say with the GCs, there's some big names in this fleet.
Yeah, always in the Etchells anyway. That's just a given, effectively. And a big congrats to my mate Sam Haynes, who got in there on 4th with Chris Hampton and Charlie Cumbley. Happy to see Sammy there getting up. He's a good lad, and he's found a real home in the Etchells. So yeah, it's pretty exciting actually, and it's good. A bunch of first timers getting a win in the Etchells. The guys Ian Murray, Colin Bichel, and Richard Allenson just learning to sail.
Not much experience.
I did hear that they'd been out a couple of times, and they worked it out after a week or so.
Never heard of him before. Oh dear. Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. Like it's super hard to win an Etchells World, so congratulations to the 3 of them. Super awesome. Yep. Maybe we even get a chat to them later on. We might try and have a chat to him and bring that back in, bring it up in a week or 2 because it is a big deal.
No, certainly.
Yeah, cool. All right, Kiel week, 1,800 sailors, super hot weather for the Euros, so basically a mild Australian day.
28 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Sort of the unusual Kiel weather. Normally it's sweltering. Normally it's freezing. Sweltering weather for them. So, yeah. Slightly different conditions. I did see. I'm just going to talk about a couple of things that I found quite interesting. One was that Pete and Blair sailing in the 49ers. We're good mates with those boys. They are the second-placed Kiwi crew in the 49ers, lying fifth. Logan Dunning-Beck and Oscar Gunn in second for New Zealand. So that is going to be very interesting in the lead up to the Olympics. Imagine being the selector having to say no to Pete and Blair. Not that they are at that stage yet. They're a long way away, but...
Dogs will have something to say about that, don't they?
Now.
No, that's all good. And the other one I really wanted to point out is Wolfgang Hunger. He was sailing with Holger Jess in the 505s. It's Wolfgang is a doctor. He's not a professional sailor by any means. He's a doctor, a medical doctor, and he has won Kiel for the 22nd time.
Holy crap.
Now, don't you think it's about time he gave someone else a go?
Well, he hasn't won it for the last 6 years, actually, so it's quite interesting.
Right.
I will say, whilst he's not a professional sailor, he's like a Malcolm Higgins, you know. He doesn't. He's for those. Sorry, he's a friend of ours. Yeah,
he's a doctor as well.
He's a doctor and a superstar sailor.
Yeah, sure.
And Wolfgang, he won. He went to the Olympics 3 times in the 470s and. 5-time world champion in the 5.0s and a world champion in the 470s. So he's not an uppity. And I've actually raced against him, and he is a super, super hard guy to beat.
Is that when you got your photo taken?
Oh, no, let's not go there.
Yes, we are going there. You know we're going there. Bicey, we're going there. Come on.
Yeah, let's go there. Yep. So BP, take it away. Just quick. While we've got your ear, listeners.
Yeah. Everyone would love to know that there is a photo of Jordan above the West End draft tap at the Adelaide Sailing Club.
Is it not the Cooper's tap at least?
It is there. Hey, what's that?
There actually used to be a beam there, but they came to work one day and it was cut out, and there was just a spare space, and 48 photos turned up. Yeah, he's got 47 in his house, and they put one up.
Look, it's legend.
The building's not that good though.
It's legendary status. You know you've made it when you're above the West End draft tap at the Adelaide Sailing Club. No, we love you, George. We know.
Hey,
come on.
You know what I've been trying to get going down there is if you're ever caught standing under your photo, everyone has to buy you a beer.
So you always stand underneath your photo, right? No one's clicked on yet.
No. It didn't take off. And I just wanted to point out, while we're still, you can forget Baggy me, but while we are talking Wolfgang, he in second place was Penny and Russell Clark, so Olympians. Penny Olympian, and then Jorgen and Jacob Bolsenmoller, so gold medal Olympians in the FDs in 88 and bronze in 92 and 7 Flying Dutchman world champs. So it's a pretty decent fleet. So I know the 5.0s. I've got a little bit of love for the 5.0s. Big shout out to them. We'll give them a good plug because they are really pushing hard to be. They are one of the best boats in your life you can sail, and their president is really trying to create a whole lot of groundswell to make that class bigger and better. So I'm just going to talk him up there for that. So that's it. Just wanted to mention the great man. So if you've never heard of Wolfgang Hunger, go and have a look. He's quite the sailor.
Yeah. Killing it, Wolfie.
Nice. And whilst I'm talking myself up, they had a regatta on here. The She Sails Mooloolaba Winter Regatta. So teams from all over the country coming up to sail, just women sailing against women here where I live on the Sunshine Coast, including our good friend Bicey Stacey Jackson was up here, who put on a prize with her company Naughty Bags, which is a great name for a company. Ooh. Yeah. And a team of young ladies, the Mooloolaba youth team, beat all comers. So Sarah Johnson, Paris Van Den Hedek, and Emily McGregor, who I've been coaching for a while. So I'm quite chuffed today. I'm walking around.
Oh, well done, mate. Pat yourself on the back.
That's it.
Give yourself a big round of applause.
No, well, I'm sort of giving.
High five.
Let's give the ladies a round of applause because they actually. They're starting to sail really well. I was really happy for them. That's why I snuck it in there. Sorry. And if it's boring to you, sorry. Bicey, let's get back to being professional. Transatlantic.
Transatlantic or the Transpac? Due to our little slip up last week. But, I mean, actually, it just proves, that we've got no transphobia here. We like either trans. We're good with the transes. Don't worry about that.
This is going to go down as one of our worst ones, I tell you. We can't do it.
Transatlantic. A few days ago, kicked off. Disappointing fleet, only 13 boats. But and the top end of the fleet, we've got Wizard and Scallywag, who have traded first position just recently over the last day or two with, and I'm just checking out the yellow brick tracker now, and Wizards just snuck ahead again, just about to clear the final part of the ice gate and E-sheets, and off you go. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Looks as though the Wizards sneaks through when it's real hard reaching or being smart about where they're putting the boat, but of course the big 100-footer gets its legs on when they can just crack off a little bit and off they go and just use their waterline length. So they're probably not quite halfway across, so I'd say they're probably 5-6 days away, and we should have a finisher by the time we record our next podcast. So we'll see who takes that out and paints the town of Cows red, as I say.
For those who don't know, Wizards, the old Group Armour 4, it's a Volvo 70, won the Volvo 2011, 2012. It's a young 1K design, I think, from memory. It's always been quick, that boat.
Yeah, the Group of Marsh was a weapon.
Yeah.
Especially in those and now they've turboed it a little bit too, so it's a super exciting boat to sail, I'm sure.
And
look, I did a bit of sailing on Group Armour 4 when they turned it into I4 when the guys from I can't remember the name slips me at the moment, but that boat was just absolutely wonderful to sail. That just unbelievable.
And then I think Scallywag's the old, originally it was Maximus, I think, a Greg Elliott design, built 2005, then Investec Law, Ragamuffin 100, then into Scallywag.
With a few chops and changes along the way.
Cuts and and then on rating, I think in the IRC, AEGI, how would you say that, Bicey? Let's throw one at you.
Eager.
Agia.
No, eager in asking me.
Well, they're leading the IRC currently at the moment, so that's it. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, fellas, after last week's episode of announcing the Ginga Challenge, the burning question, not unlike your mop of hair, so it's just way too easy to take it out of you guys, but no wonder you got picked on.
Stop picking on us.
What has happened in the land of the Ginge?
Well, I got to say,
crowdfunding page up and running?
There's been no sign of crowdfunding. There's been no sign.
Or is the Ginga Alliance coming to save you?
No sign of crowdfunding. But I tell you what, I think we've been cited for discrimination.
Oh.
The International Federation of Greys, the Big Gathering of Blondes Association, and the International Group of Hair Slightly Darker Than Fair have all expressed concern.
Who cares about them?
I don't know.
You blokes could actually do this. You could maybe do an alliance with the Greys, actually.
You keep going there. I must admit, I did get a message saying, what about the greyheads? What about them? And I just thought, well, you blokes are too old to go around, so let's not worry about you. I think this is racist, basically. I think the gingers have been marginalised, they've been derided, they're excluded, been called mutants, which is technically true because there's a mutation on the MC1R gene which causes the red hair. They've been called fiery and dangerous, or are they clownish and weak? They're total geeks in public but wild in the bedroom. They don't have souls, so they'll steal yours. These are all the myths and stereotypes us poor redheads have to deal with. And it just shows you how stigmatised these wonderful human beings are. So I actually wrote down a list of advantages of the Ginga Challenge, some of the advantages you'll get. And these are all scientifically proven. Are you guys cool with this?
Make sure you send this to me because this is going to rewrite a joke book. This is going to be good.
So Gingas only make up 2% of the world population. They must be photogenic because 30% of TV commercials feature Gingas. So the only explanation is that they must make things look good, right?
Or someone else looked good for that matter.
I wasn't going to go there. I didn't think you'd pick up on that, but you did. There are redheads in all races, so that's a good thing. They are super producers of adrenaline. So in times of stress, they produce more and get adrenaline more quickly. Therefore, they'll be able to handle emergency situations better, right? And
emergency situations while you're pulling your punching gloves on.
Oh, that's gold. And then there is research that shows that redheads smell better than everyone else. And that's a big deal on an ocean race.
Turn up for the books. No, absolutely. Yeah, that's if that doesn't drag in 20 mil, I don't know what will.
Oh, I tried.
You're giving it a good crack. But the Ginga Challenge, I mean, realistically, it shouldn't be getting this sort of press. You know, these other groups that are, you know, trying to put us down. I think that you know, they've just got to if they're going to be so worried about it, just get off their backsides and go and do something themselves. You know, we started it. Now they just sort of want to hang off us like usual.
Yeah, no, it's we won't drill too long because it's kind of like flogging a dead horse if we keep going on this one. But the Ginga Challenge, we might revisit it to see if any legs do come of it. It'll be just chat about it in the bar, and if you want, yeah,
I've always had a bit of an idea in what will be the ocean race now that if you looking for that last boat, maybe you invite, say, the old EF language crew to come and do a leg, or the old ABN AMRO crew to come and do a leg. So maybe that's a good starting point. The Gingas could get together their little alliance for one leg. It could be quite interesting. And as much as I'm taking the mickey out of you blokes, you know I'll be at the top of the management team raking home my own bickies with this the Ginga Challenge.
Yeah, I do.
Smell better. Yeah.
Smell better.
And here they come. You can smell them.
Smell like roses, yeah, because the colour of roses.
Ginga Challenge, it's going to happen. Don't just you watch this space.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, gentlemen, here on the Sunshine Coast, which is paradise, there was a lottery winner. Somebody won $40 million this week up here. And it sort of came to me, what would you do if you'd won 40 million, like from a sailing perspective? You've won 40 million, what are you going to do? BP?
Well, before that came to you, I actually thought about maybe it could have been you that actually won it, and I was pretty getting, you know, that little bit of, just what if he won it? What would he do? And so it's interesting that you should bring it up.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, but you guys want to go first, or do you want me to tell you? I've thought it through.
Well, actually, given you put the little sailing spin after raking up about 10 tonne of leaves in my yard today, I was going to get a gardener. That was number one. But I love that. Sailing point of view, 2-3 year trek around the world, 60-foot catamaran.
Wow.
Yeah. That's me.
That's you. That's interesting.
Done a bit of research, well, not because I'm about to do it, but looking at all these places that we don't really go to as racing sailors. You know, the Tahitis and the French Polynesia, and you do go to the Caribbean, but there's a lot of these different areas that are fantastic cruising grounds, and it's just, yeah, maybe it's just something I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I've always been a big fan, if I was going cruising, for a catamaran. Can always race on someone else's boat. As for, would you put a team in? You need way more than 40 million.
Yeah.
So.
With the calibre of sailors we're talking about, you reckon?
What about you, BP? Have you put any thought into it?
If I'd won $40 million?
Yeah, so you don't have to... Like, what would you do? Would you buy a single-hander and just go sailing, or would you...
You know what? You know what? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't actually go sailing. I've always had this this idea of getting a house on a mountain that looks over the side of a lake on one side and a surf beach on the other. So I'd have the surfing on one side and the sailing and windsurfing on the other. That would be my dream.
Yeah, righto. Okay. Okay. Well,
You're moving to Galway.
you could.
I'm moving to Galway.
Yeah. Or you could just build in the middle of nowhere and build yourself a wave machine, and you could surf there. So.
Oh, sick.
Oh, that's now you're talking. Now you think. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Because first of all, you've actually got to go down to the shop and buy one of those tickets to actually win it. So that's why I haven't really thought about it, because I've never actually gone down to the shop and bought one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you what I thought of. So I was quite surprised and when Bicey said his, I've sort of gone, oh wow, he's had the same thoughts. So like I'm a racer, but cruising's never been a big part of my life. But the first thing I thought of is, and I've been thinking of a lot, I'll give you some sort of idea. This is what I'd do. I'd buy a Neil 51 trimaran. They're built by Neil Trimarans in France. Eric Brunel's the owner of that. So former designer for Fontaine Pajou. The reason I want the Neil is if you go and have a look at it, you'll see the space and the way it's laid out, and it sails a bit faster and more. It's a bit better sailing than a Cat, I reckon. It also features what they call a cock saloon. Saloon, which is the French.
That'd suit you.
The French way of saying the cockpit and saloon open up into one, but they've called it a cock saloon. Someone should give them a call and explain that doesn't really translate that well in English.
You've really dug a grave, mate.
Yeah.
Try and get yourself out of this one.
Right.
Listeners, get on this program.
Okay, hang on. So here, I'll pick it up in La Rochelle next summer, mid-summer in 2020. Drift south, surf my brains out in France, Spain, and Portugal. Into the Med for a bit of a sticky beak. And then head to the Caribbean around November via the Canaries. Surf and windsurf there. Surf Costa Rica and Panama. Go through the canal, maybe touch the Galapagos, maybe the Marshall Islands, surf my brains out along the way. Cruise the South Pacific as long as possible, surf my brains out there. Cut over the top of Oz, head along Indonesia and the Maldives, try surfing my brain out there. Maybe to the Seychelles and Mauritius, surf my brains out there, then back to Oz, reset, and start again. That's my plan.
I'm glad you haven't thought about it too much.
I was going to say, and did you have to work this week at all? Or I'm just wondering, because that took a lot of organising.
No.
No, I mean, it's a natural path you'd go cruising for sure. I mean,
it's just a no-brainer. Like, from a tax perspective, from the price of your boat to go and sail it and bring it back, like it's just a no-brainer. You get to surf a lot of spots.
I sailed a 24 foot Seawind catamaran from Airlie Beach to Darwin once. took me 6 weeks. No electronics, nothing. Just
jeez, yeah, that's a bit crazy.
There you go. Oh, nuts.
All right. Well, then so we've ended up. BP's going to stick his house on a mountain and look at water, and Bicey and I are doing effectively the same thing. So we'll probably just drink beers all the way around and have a good time.
Surfboard will never see the light of day.
Well,
I love it.
The beauty is I'll be able to watch you coming along. Oh, they're coming back again for their second run, and then everything will be set up from the top of the mountain. You see, you just park your boat and come up, and it'll all be good.
Yeah, and if you've got the wave pool built, we'll be up there for sure. Well, I'll be. I don't know how serious Bicey takes surfing, but yeah, I'll be there.
Wave pool, indoor windsurfing.
There we go.
It's all there.
There we go. If you had a bar or a brewery there, I think Bicey's in as well.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'm there. Oh, count me in.
Let's talk about bar and brewery, just working on that. So stay tuned for that. We might be able to talk about some brewery stuff in the next couple of weeks.
Beer. All right. Gentlemen, we had a discussion last week about bar karaoke. I've got to say, it's been an epic fail. We've had one serious reply. Well, it may have been serious. EMF's unbelievable, which may have been a comment on our delivery style. And then we just got a bunch of bad... we got a bunch of bad sailing songs, which we took off the Facebook page because we weren't going to embrace that. But I will tell you who did post. We got Dr. Marijuana Pepsi suggesting Rod Stewart.
We are sailing.
Sailing. We had a bloke by the name of Sam Sung suggest we put the Commodore's sail on. We had a bloke by the name of Crispy Bacon suggest Christopher Cross's sailing. And then a young lass by the name of Crystal Ball said Krista Berg's sailing away.
Oh, you didn't get
nice bunch, lads.
Oh, you didn't hear from Sue Ridge Pipe then?
No, just those four were the ones we got.
I'm surprised Eura Belch didn't ring up either.
Speaking of fails, man, I must admit, kind of as when we launched Bar Karate, and we obviously the Facebook page was a natural place to go and set up the website, which is in progress, and then looking at Instagram. Yep. So just coming home from Europe just during the week or a couple of days ago, I thought I'd take my time at Dubai Airport to set it up. And just going through all the profiling and all that sort of stuff. And as I put in the name, I got shut out.
Ooh.
Bar
shut down.
Karate. Might as well just called it boozing and fighting. So I've got no other explanation apart from I've tried to launch it in the wrong country.
Wow.
And I should have. If we did it here back in Oz, we'd get a bloody civic parade.
You get free promotion money for that one, but yeah, no, that's crazy. Really? So we can't put an Instagram page up yet?
Not at this point, but stand by because I've tried logging in again, but yeah, so you can't. No one can go out there and grab our page off us. But so I'm just waiting for the authorities in the United Arab Emirates to come back to me.
You're being watched. It's okay. I've got contacts there, so I'll get in touch with them for you.
I'm not saying a word.
I don't want to hear that story.
Oh, look, I could share it with you. Would you like me to share it with you quickly? We got 2 minutes.
This is a good story. Let's hear it.
Hey, so a couple of years back, I decided I'd go down and help one of my owners out on one of the boats he bought. It was a little mini of one of the minis that I did, and we were doing the Dubai to Muscat yacht race. And to cut a long story really short, we ran out of wind going through the Straits of Hormuz, and we thought, we're in a bit of trouble here. So we dropped the anchor, and it was about six knots of tide. And we dropped the anchor and we're just sitting there, and it was starting to get a bit sort of, concerning. So we called up the Coast Guard. They called us in, towed us in. The Omanian Navy called us in, and we had no passports at that stage. So they towed us down to the Dubai border and just let us go. So they let us go. We sailed over the border. We got picked up and towed back into this unbelievable little place. It was a little yacht club right on the border of Oman and Dubai. And we got told to wait there. And the customs guy came in and he goes, you just wait here. He took our passports and it literally at that stage put us in custody for 24 hours. And was pretty brutal about it too. It was taking our passport from us and was going to put us in, put us through all sorts of bother. The good part about it was a yacht club, and it had a bar, a pool table, and a TV. So there's three Aussies in 24-hour lockdown with a bar, a pool table, and a TV. So how cool could that be?
Oh, mate, that's the ultimate lock-in.
That's your lock-in. It's crazy, isn't it?
When the customs guy come back, fair to say, there was quite a few empty Heineken bottles sitting on the bench.
Mate, you would have been drunk and hungover 3 times. Or you were hungover by the time he got there.
Well, it was their fault. What did you expect?
Love it.
There's going to be a spike in after this episode goes out. There's going to be a spike in yachts just coming into Dubai, looking to
chucking anchor over.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got no passport. Doing the old Kiwi. Well, what they call the Aussie hucker. Oh, where's my passport?
Anyway, fun and games.
Yeah, that's a cracker. I wish that had happened to me, mate. I really do. That sounds awesome.
To be honest with you, it was scarier and scarier with each beer we had.
Right,
we knew we were getting worse and worse, and we knew that it was going to get worse and worse because this customs guy was getting really pissed off with us.
Fair enough. All right, guys, we're running out of time. There was just one little thing we were going to have a bit of a chat about, and our last little discussion was why we got into the podcasting.
Yeah, well, certainly, I know, Jordan, we listened to a few podcasts, let's face it.
A lot.
Like all the travel that we were doing during the Volvo Ocean Race and that we're continuing to do now, and you're living a constant battle of dealing with jet lag and dealing with all sort, just your body clock not knowing what's going on, and everything just running through your mind. And you put it on to me like, oh, why don't you start listening to podcasts? It's an easy way to kind of clear your mind and helps you nod off to have a little snooze. And that's how I got onto it. And I was just having a little look through how many I subscribe to today and would constantly listen to. And I'd be listening to at least 4 or 5 a day of some description at some certain time, especially when traveling. And so that's a bit of an essence definitely part of it from my side. And I know you two guys talk quite a bit of crap, and I'm just here to kind of smooth it all over pretty much.
So one of the things when you are travelling around a lot and you're in multiple countries, you've got quite a few languages in the world and you can't pick them all up. And so when you do get into the hotel rooms, there's very little chance you're going to get anything to watch on TV if you're dead at night. So the only safe place is you can go to the podcast. They're just a simple download and you listen away and found exactly what Bossy said. We'd wake up at 3 a.m. because we're on different time zones and just put the podcast on and you'd get back to sleep. It was the only way to get back to sleep. And so it's been great. I love them. I don't even listen to radio anymore. I just do the podcast.
I actually, one podcast I do listen to is Moon Man in the Morning from Sydney. Triple M.
Yeah.
Just give me a bit of Aussie when I'm away.
Living in Sydney, I get that every morning driving to work.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's enough enough banter to find out a bit about what's going on in politics and also have a bit of a laugh at the same time.
You got Moon Man in the morning. Hey, how did I get into podcasts? Well, it was your idea. I just wanted to go straight to TV.
Yeah. Have you looked at it?
I just wanted to go straight to the Top Gear, the Top Gear yachting Top Gear. That's it. Just the three of us. I thought we'd fit the mold perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure that was ever going to happen, though. The actual effort of putting a TV show on looks too hard, if you ask me.
Hey, dream big.
Dream big.
Dream big. What it led us to. It led us to this.
Yep. While we're actually talking websites, we are mates with, there's another website, podcast Yacht Racing Life, which is JC, mate of ours, Justin Chisholm does that one. So good luck to him. If you like ours, listen to his. You might get something different, but we're all about sharing the love here. So, yeah, I just thought I'd mention him because he's been mentioning us, so it's only fair.
Only fair. Good man.
Good man.
All fairs and love him all.
No, he's a good man, BP. He's a good man.
Yeah. No, he is.
Yep. All right. I think that's us for this week, boys. It feels like it's just flown by, doesn't it, Tom? I've actually really enjoyed it. I don't know if anyone else will, but we've had a good time.
Hey, it's not undifferent to sitting in a bar and having a beer, to be honest.
Yeah. Although it is a bit of a dry argument. I can't believe I've done 3 of these without having a beer.
Guys, I just point out, we did go into this saying we'll try and keep the alcohol references to a minimum because there might be young kids listening and we're trying to be professional and athletic, and we've destroyed it on this one. We've absolutely destroyed it.
I'm trying my absolutely hardest to not swear, for starters, so...
I think I slipped one out earlier, didn't I?
Dear. So all the parents out there listening, I apologise for my degenerate mates. We'll make it better from the future, but... we appreciate you listening, and please tell your friends and, just keep enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, let us know, if you want to hear of anything else or if you want us to find out something for you. We're pretty well connected. We can pretty much get to anyone in the world of sailing. So if you are interested in something, just contact us. Simplest thing at the moment is just send us a message on the Barkarati Facebook page go from there. Anything else from you boys?
All clear, and hope you are all enjoying it and getting a few messages here and there from people from all corners of the globe regarding the podcast. So we hope to grow it and evolve it and keep everyone entertained and informed.
Cool. Yeah, it's same with me. Just loving the domination of Australian sport right now.
Maybe we'll talk on that next week. All right, boys, we are going to sign it off and head on out. Have a great week, everyone. We'll speak to you next week.
Running at night jet through the sea.